Hey everybody, welcome to my show. Today I'm going to show you how to save $200 or more, maybe a little less, on your SSL certificate for your GoDaddy website. This could also be applied to any other hosting service, but I'm going to use GoDaddy because that's what I use. I'm going to show you how to do this using Linux. You can also follow these same instructions on a Raspberry Pi. As for Windows, I'm not absolutely sure how to do it yet, and if there's enough interest, I will make a video on Windows. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a service called Certbot and Let's Encrypt to make our SSL certificate. We're going to do it locally here on my system, and then when we're done, we're going to upload it into GoDaddy and activate it. So what I need to have is I need to have my terminal window right here. I need to have access to my DNS management. For the website we're going to do is pixelstudio.media, and I need to have access to the cPanel. Now, I have a virtual host, so there's multiple websites on that host. If you just have a single website, then your cPanel should just access that single website. So the first thing we're going to do is, and I'm going to be copying and pasting off of a cheat sheet, and this information will be in the description. First thing we're going to do is we are going to make sure everything is updated. Make sure everything's updated on the system. And install Certbot. So what this is going to do, with sudo, we log in as the root user to run these particular applications. So what it's going to first do is going to make sure everything's updated, and since I've already done this, it's not going to install anything, but if there's anything that needs to be installed, it will ask me to do it, and I just tell it yes or no, depending on what it is. But normally I just tell it yes. And then it's going to install Certbot. And again, if Certbot's not installed, it's going to ask if you want to install it, you just tell it yes. If it is installed, it will just go through the process, and when it's done, it will say nothing installed. So I enter in my password. Now it's just going through the process, see what it needs to update, if anything, downloading anything that looks like it needs to update. Then it's just basically going through the whole system just to see if it has to update. And when it's done, you'll see if you notice up in there, before it went through looking at all this stuff, right here, Certbot is already the newest version, 2.9-0-1 or .0. So Certbot's installed. You can also just type in Certbot when it's done installing just to see that it did install, and if it installed, it should give you the version. So Certbot is now installed. Now what Certbot is going to do, using this next command, I'm going to copy and paste this over here. Using this command, Certbot is going to create the certificate. It's going to create the certificate of key type RSA. I'm using RSA because that's what GoDaddy wants. Some services may use the default new version of ECDSA. If so, you can just get rid of key type RSA. I'm telling it to force renewal just to make sure it renews, though I haven't had any luck telling it to force renewal because it likes to cache things. And I'm going to do it on a website called pixelstudio.media, which does not have a SSL certificate on it right now, so I can go through the whole process. You'll notice that we have two different domains, pixelstudio.media and www.pixelstudio.media. I'm making an SSL that covers both of them. If you're only doing one domain name, you just put one domain name in there. So we're going to start that, and what Certbot should do, and this is take number 6, I think I got it right now. What Certbot should do is go through the process and then give me instructions instead of just saying updated. So let's go. Right, now it's doing it. See, what it's telling me to do now is I have to deploy a DNS text record. Basically, that means I have to go to my DNS management, which is over here. I have to add new records of type text. So I click on, and here I click on Add New Record. I select Type Text. Now, just so you can see here, I need to type in this portion right here. Not the domain portion, just that portion. Okay, so I'm going to type in acme-challenge. Now I'm going to copy this portion right here and put it into the string value right here. And now what I'm going to do is on this TTL, time to live, I want to make custom. I want to make it 600, which is the lowest value. That's 10 minutes. Don't save it yet. Click Add More Records. Now back over here, I'm going to hit Enter again. And you see now it has another one I have to do. So what I have to do, it's another text record. Let's make it text. This time I'm going to put in this portion of it right here. Try that again. I think what I did is I pressed some keys in the wrong spot, and hopefully that's going to be okay. See, I got garbage down here. We don't want to leave the screen yet, and I'll explain that in a second. Let me just get this text copied. Why are you pasting it back? Oh, I'm selecting paste. Isn't that stupid of me? Hopefully, when I get to hitting enter, it won't have an issue with this. So let's just... There. Now I pasted that in there. My time to live, I got to change the custom again. 600. So what I just did here, and excuse my mistakes there, is it told me to create these two text registers, acme-challenge and acme-challenge.www. Put these values in there of these two different string values that it gave me. I changed it to 600 seconds, and now I'm going to tell it save all records. Now we need to start a countdown, because this is going to update in about 10 minutes. It could update in a few seconds. You never know. But what I do is I open up, just right here, see my phone. I go in here and I start a countdown. I usually do 13 minutes. I start a 13-minute countdown, and I don't touch nothing. I just leave it here. Because as soon as I come over to this terminal, I hit enter to continue, it's going to go look on the DNS record on GoDaddy to see if those things are there. And if they haven't updated yet, it's going to tell you it can't do it. And then you got to start all over. So if you tell it to wait, I told it 600 seconds, which is 10 minutes. If I tell it to wait 13 minutes, I'm covering my bases. So when I come back and I hit enter, it should create the certificate, no problems. So we're going to pause this for 13 minutes. Okay, so 13 minutes has elapsed. Now we're going to find out if my inadvertently pasting stuff in here is going to mess it up, or if it's just waiting for the enter to continue. If it messes it up, I'm going to have to do this all over again. Okay, it looks like it was coded correctly, and it was just it was only looking for the enter key. So what has happened is, you can see, we successfully received certificates, and they're stored on my system now. So now I have certificates to work with. So this over here, this updating, these two Acme challenges here, those were fine. And see, just so you there's a little background, just what happened is I added these strings into the DNS record, which stores it on the DNS server. And now what happened is, let's encrypt via Certbot, check the DNS to see what is the value of Acme challenge and what is the value of Acme challenge www, compared it to the strings it gave me, and since they were the same, it basically agrees, okay, yeah, you do own the site. It's your site, we'll make you a certificate. So that's done. Now what we need to do is we need to prepare the certificate for uploading. Now, to do that, we run, I'm just got to get over here to my next thing. I got to go into, I have to use OpenSSL, which you may have to install OpenSSL. So before we go any further, let's just do that. Let's just check OpenSSL, let's see if it uses the same thing version. Okay, so now that we know Certbot is installed in there, what we're going to do is we are going to now create our private key for GoDaddy. To do that, we use OpenSSL. What it's going to do is it's going to take that certificate information that it made, and it's going to make a private key. So let's put this in here. And it created an RSA key. Now, just to see how it did that, let's just do a directory right here, and it should show you. See, there's my Pixel Studio _RSA key. All right, sorry for the interruption there. I got a little confused on my notes, and I had to stop for a moment and actually read them instead of glancing over at them. So we created our OpenSSL. Using OpenSSL, we created the RSA, and you can see that here in the directory. You can see Pixel Studio _RSA.key. So we have an RSA key now. And now what we need to do is we need to create the certificate bundle. And to do that, we're going to copy it from where it exists over here to where I can get to it. And it just did that. Now if I do a directory again, you're going to see I have the CRT, which is a certificate. So now I got all my information I need to work with. So first off, what I'm going to do is, and to do this, I'm going to make my screen very small, but let's do this for sudo nano Pixel Studio. I want to open up the certificate. Now I'm going to make my screen smaller. Well, actually, you know what? I don't need to do that. Why did I do that? I can just scroll. What I need to do is I want to copy this text out of here. So I'm going to highlight that. Let's go down. Let's go all the way to the end first so I can know exactly what I got to work with. I want all this out of here because it's a lot easier to work with. Oh, that's why I need to do that. Okay, so let's just do this again. Don't save it. Okay. I'm going to full screen it. There we go. Now I'm going to do it. I need to be able to see all of it to copy it, and that's still not enough. Minus a little further. Okay, now all of it. Why am I not opening this up with like mousepad? Because mousepad won't open it up because it'll give me permission denied. So I got to use nano for this. Again, there's probably other ways of doing this. This is how I do it. So there we go. Now I can see everything. Now what I want to do is I want to take all this and I want to highlight this, copy it, open up mousepad, paste it in here, just so I have it to work with. Now get out of there. And I'm going to do the same thing with the key. I just want to have it ready for, I want to have it outside of the terminal so I can copy and paste. So that's the first one, and here's the key. I'm going to paste that one in that one. Now we can just put this back down to its normal size. Actually, no, it's probably easier. I don't need to use terminal mode no more, so I'll just close terminal mode. Put this one up here. Now we're going to put the SSL certificate in the system. So in the cPanel, I'm going to scroll down to SSL/TLS. Then once I get in here, I'm going to click on Manage SSL Sites. Yeah, good for you, summarizing the page. I don't need the page summarized. Now, if this one already exists, which it doesn't, but if it existed, like it's an expired certificate or I'm replacing it, I would want to uninstall it first. I don't want to update. If you do update, sometimes it leaves garbage behind on GoDaddy. I would uninstall it. But this one doesn't exist, so I'm going to install it. So I'm going to select the domain. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? There you Pixel Studio. Now in the certificate, which was the first one, you know how hard, well maybe you don't, well if you're using Linux, trying to get that little edge right there is a pain. Oh, you know what? Fine, I'm not going to worry about it. I like, when I type, I like to have the edge, but let's see. Now I should only have to do this first block. I've had times where I needed to do the second block too, but what I should have to do is only highlight and copy the first block, paste it in here, and it will tell me. See, it was okay with that. Now I need to do the private key, which is this one right here. So I highlight that, copy it, paste it in there. Then I should tell it to install certificate. It's going to go through the process, and it's successfully installed. And to verify that, I'm just going to go to https://pixel media or Pixel Studio media. And it loads, and if I right click on this, or if I click on this, go on connection secure, view more information, I'm going to go into the view certificate, and you see right there, it's just created right now, and it's good until June 3rd. So there, we're done. I just saved myself $200 on June 3rd or thereabouts. I mean, I usually do it a day before, a day or two before. I got to do this process again. But the next time I do this is a lot easier because that DNS record, these right here exist. I just have to change the text that's inside of them to the new text that Certbot gives me. So what I normally do is I'll set a calendar entry up in Thunderbird, which I'm going to use for my email, but you can do it anywhere. And in that calendar entry, I paste in my cheat sheet for that site. So when it comes up, I just open up the details, which has the cheat sheet in there, copy and paste out the various instructions. Voila, done. I'm done. Takes me 1 minute to make the certificate and paste and upload the DNS information. Wait 13 minutes so that I'm sure it's propagated, and then upload the certificate. 15 minutes, 20 if I'm slow. And that's it. I saved $200+. I'll have more information on other various ways of saving money, just on websites, on computers, on making videos, things like that. I've been, for the past 5 years, figuring out how to do these things on the cheap because that's just the way I've always been. I don't buy new stuff. I don't throw money at things. I like to use older things. I mean, I'm not using older things. Well, I am using older things over here onto the side where you can't see, but if you've seen many of my other videos, I got an IBM PC 5150, which was the first IBM PC that came out, and it has 48K of RAM, no disk drive, runs off a cassette tape. So yeah, I do like older things. If you like this content, you like this topic, please leave a like, subscribe, share it with your friends. If you think I did something wrong, or if you want to suggest how I could do it for Windows or any information like that, let me know. Share this with your friends. Let's see if I can make this go viral. I've never really had a video go viral. I mean, maybe this is the one. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hope you come back. Have a great day.